Shocking decision by Carlos Alcaraz after the final against Sinner. The duel in Turin brought intense emotions, but it also triggered an important change in Alcaraz. Today I will tell you what really happened after that match and what unexpected shift Alcaraz announced to prepare for his return. Let's discover it together. The final between Alcaraz and Sinner was a clash of power, tactical intelligence and mental resilience. Although Carlos showed a solid level, Sinner once again proved why he is experiencing the best moment of his career on indoor hard courts. His streak of 32 consecutive victories is no coincidence, constant pressure with his serve, aggression, and a perfect reading of the game. Carlos knew it, and even so, he went in convinced he could break that trend. Despite the defeat, Alcaraz appeared surprisingly calm. What stood out most was his feeling of progress. For him, this match was not a setback but proof that his indoor level is growing. He acknowledged that Sinner had improved even more, something that turns each of their matches into a battle of adjustments and constant evolution. Their rivalry is becoming one of the most appealing on the circuit. The small physical scare came in the form of a pull in his hamstring. Alcaraz admitted he felt a pinch when trying to return a serve, but clarified that it did not affect his overall performance. However, it did limit certain explosive movements that are normally part of his repertoire. Even with that discomfort, he insisted that the defeat did not come from his body but from the details he failed to execute. One of those details was the unexpected power of Sinner's second serve. Carlos was returning very well until suddenly the Italian began serving at nearly 190 km per hour with second serves that looked like firsts. That variation unsettled him and prevented him from taking the initiative in key moments, especially in the first set tiebreak, where he had chances he could not convert. Alcaraz's game plan was solid: apply pressure, vary heights, finish at the net. And he did. But not enough. He admitted himself that he failed at certain crucial moments, such as not finishing points with the backhand volley, a tool he uses to break the rhythm of aggressive opponents like Sinner. Those details, according to him, tipped the result in the Italian's favor. Frustration, however, was not the dominant feeling. What really shaped his mood was the clarity with which he saw the path ahead. Every defeat brings a lesson, and this time he felt the difference was minimal. There was no emotional drop. No excuses. Only one conclusion: he needs to come back stronger, faster and more complete than ever. After the match, Alcaraz made a forceful decision: to completely transform his preseason. He said he is going to give his maximum, but this time he expressed it with a different, sharper determination. He feels he is at the doorstep of a new stage in his career, and this defeat was the spark he needed to ignite a process of evolution. He does not want the details to betray him again. His main objective is to reinforce his physique to avoid issues like the hamstring discomfort. Although it wasn't serious, it reminded him that his explosive style requires a flawless muscular base. Carlos knows that each point demands extreme movements, and he wants his body to respond without limitations. That will be the first major mission of his preseason. The second focus will be the serve. Sinner's variations forced him to reconsider how much impact an improved serve can have in pressure moments. He wants a more stable first serve and a more aggressive second serve. He knows that if he wants to dominate indoors, he needs to add speed and precision so he's not at the mercy of opponents who respond with such power. In the tactical aspect, there will also be changes. Alcaraz confessed that his backhand volley was a problem in the final, and that led him to decide he will dedicate several weeks to perfecting that shot. In his offensive style, the net is a key territory, and if he cannot finish points confidently there, his plans quickly fall apart against players like Sinner. But perhaps the most striking part of his decision lies in the mental area. Carlos said he wants to work more on managing critical moments. He doesn't want to fail to capitalize on a mini-break again, nor let slip a lead in a second set where he had control. For him, the difference between winning and losing in finals like this is as much in the mind as in the shot. His final message was clear: next time he wants the details to play in his favor. That phrase summarizes everything. He is not seeking revenge, but improvement. And he made very clear that he intends to come back to win, not just to compete. That mentality, combined with the hunger that already characterizes him, will make the preseason a key phase heading into the new season. Serious problem for Carlos Alcaraz after his match against Sinner. The calendar gives no respite to Carlos Alcaraz, who after losing the final of the ATP Finals in Turin this Sunday has already set off for Bologna for the Davis Cup Final 8. That said, the world number 1 and leader of the Spanish team is doubtful for the international competition after the hamstring discomfort and will undergo tests to rule out a serious injury before stepping on court. The player from Murcia is the spearhead of the Spanish team captained by David Ferrer, and losing him would also mean losing much of their chances to win the trophy. Carlos will undergo a medical checkup on Monday afternoon, upon his arrival in Bologna, 3 days before their debut against the Czech Republic scheduled for Thursday morning. It will be an MRI overseen by Dr. Ángel Ruiz Catoro, head of the medical services of the Spanish Tennis Federation. Thus, David Ferrer's press conference with the full team scheduled for Monday afternoon has also been postponed pending the medical results. As for the rest of the team, Jaume Munar, Pablo Carreño and Pedro Martinez have already completed several training sessions since arriving in Bologna on Saturday, and Marcel Granollers, also competing in the ATP Finals in Turin, doubles, will arrive on Monday in full physical condition. Alcaraz clarifies how the injury is ahead of the Davis Cup. "I will do everything in my power." Carlos Alcaraz was clear in analyzing the discomfort in the hamstring of his right leg during the final against Jannik Sinner at the ATP Finals. He felt it because he had already had the first warning the night before in the semi-final. He wanted to make it very clear that it did not influence his defeat against Jannik Sinner, 7-6-4 and 7-5. He did not make excuses nor downplay a rival who always comes back stronger after a defeat. He has shown it again. If he won, it's because he deserved it. Although the injury did occupy his mind for quite some time, because when you hurt yourself, the thoughts are there. But after 2 or 3 games I was able to move well. Sometimes I go crazy and go after impossible balls. In that sense it did limit me, but I was able to play well and move with strength. The Davis Cup is coming now. Spain plays next Thursday against the Czech Republic in the quarterfinals. I have something in the thigh, but I hope it doesn't affect me in Bologna. Tomorrow I will travel and I will do everything in my power to be able to play for my country. We will try to recover as soon as possible, he said. The tournament has been spectacular, he summarized about the ATP Finals. "I'm not hurt or pissed off, you have to value being in this final. I have never doubted my level indoors, that I can compete and beat Sinner. I was very close," he analyzed. He described the ATP season as brilliant. "Not perfect because to be perfect I would have had to win everything." The Italian dedicated some beautiful words to Carlitos after being crowned for the second consecutive year at the Masters Cup. Carlos Alcaraz could not overcome Jannik Sinner in the final of the Masters Cup. The player from Murcia delivered a great performance, but the solidity of the Italian ultimately prevailed in a match where equality reigned for much of the time. Only small details, in Sinner's favor, ended up deciding the final and the second Masters title for the world number 2. It is the second consecutive crown Jannik wins in Turin, all without having dropped a single set. Even so, the world number 1 belongs to Alcaraz this season, as he secured in the group stage. Regarding that, Sinner took the chance to dedicate some beautiful words to Carlitos after the final. Despite their rivalry on court, they maintain a great relationship. "If I am not number 1, I want you to be," Jannik said during the trophy ceremony. Both he and Carlos exchanged emotional messages after yet another great final between them. Carlos Alcaraz left the court in Turin with a mixture of pride, clarity and determination after losing the 2025 ATP Finals final 7-6-4, 7-5 to world number 2 Jannik Sinner. The duel brought together the 2 best players of the season. Both arrived with a 4-0 record in the tournament and with a rivalry that has defined much of the year. "I am very, very happy with the level I showed today, with the performance." The defeat closed a season in which Alcaraz played 6 finals, won 4 of them, kept the world number 1 ranking and cemented a year of consistency and evolution. Before the match, Alcaraz had won 7 of his last 8 meetings against Sinner and led their head-to-head 10-5. This time, however, Sinner's precision indoors prevailed and halted the Spaniard's late-season surge. "You don't have many losses, but after each loss you come back stronger." Alcaraz acknowledged the magnitude of Sinner's achievement, highlighting the Italian's impressive indoor streak and the exceptional level he showed all week. The match reflected a rivalry fueled not only by talent but by mutual respect and shared ambition. The Spaniard emphasized that these types of battles push both of them, and added that the quality of their tennis demands more clashes on big stages in the coming seasons. "I hope you're ready for next year because I will be ready." Afterwards, he moved on to the acknowledgements, highlighting the essential role of his team and his family throughout a season that pushed him to his physical and mental limits. Alcaraz insisted that the consistency required to finish as year-end number 1 does not exist without a solid support system behind the scenes. With many of them present in Turin, he made it clear that this defeat does not overshadow the journey they have taken together. I am very lucky to have them supporting me." Reviewing the year, Alcaraz stressed that falling short of the ATP Finals title does not change his assessment of the season as a whole. 4 titles, a 4-2 record in finals and keeping the number 1 ranking reflect stability and an ability to grow through setbacks.